It appears that Kevin Hunter desperately tries to find his place under the sun and plans to use his ex-wife, Wendy Williams, for this. After Kevin's attorneys had recommended that he drop the lawsuit against her, his creative mind spit out another atrocious scheme on how to get closer to Wendy's riches. And this time, he wants to be back in her life for good. If not as a husband, then as a husband, then as a producer of her upcoming projects. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. So having spent 1 year without any income, Kevin Hunter seems to be pretty desperate to find another great project he can produce. And apparently, he believes that luck is on his side because his ex-wife, Wendy Williams, started working on several programs at the same time. But will Wendy ever let her ex come close to her again after everything he had put her through? Stay with me until the end of this video, and you'll be the first to find out. It seems that Kevin Hunter is actually full of creativity, as he stated, but sadly enough, all his creative thinking is directed at one thing: to get more money from his ex-wife. And since this man lost all chances to get his alimony payments back and his own legal team insisted that he drops the case, he found another way to live off Wendy. Sources revealed that Kevin's new plan is to offer Wendy to work together on her projects. Ugh, I wish this man was the same ardent when working on his own projects and not writing on Wendy's name. But as we know, the timing seems quite fortunate for Kevin. And while his chances to reach Wendy's accounts are vanishing, he may still have a shot at working with her again. At least, this is what Kevin believes. Wendy is currently working on several mystery projects that will mark her comeback after a couple of rough years. Wendy's representative confirmed that the former TV host is absorbed with work and her new programs, including the long-awaited podcast, but he refused to disclose more at that time, hinting at the secrecy of these projects. He said right now, Wendy is working on several projects. She is ready to get things rolling and get back to being Wendy Williams. Yes, the podcast is still in the works. It seems like Kevin Hunter believes that this is his lucky chance to prove his own worth to Wendy once again and get more income as well. This man had already been riding on the back of her success for decades, and he knows that Wendy basically turns everything she touches into gold, whether it's a radio program or a TV show. Apparently, he still hopes of being a part of her programs, and that's why he wants to offer his services as a producer and a creative director. He already claimed in his interviews that he and Wendy make a good team. Well, I guess that Kevin thinks that Wendy wouldn't succeed without him because, as he stated before, he had been the mastermind behind all Wendy's previous projects, including the iconic The Wendy Williams Show, which had been on TV for 13 seasons. In his interview with the West Side Gazette, he stated, "My intellectual property of the creation of The Wendy Williams Show and how it had to come across was key. They would not have experienced the success they had without me." Well, I personally doubt that this is true, but Kevin seems to be so confident in his creativity and intellectual property that he wants Wendy to acknowledge the fact that she needs him by her side. Not as a husband, apparently, that ship has sailed, but as a producer and a manager. Since he was already working with her on their past projects, he hopes that Wendy would forget about their feud and allow him to participate in her new programs. But I guess you already know what he actually wants. It's not to get back on TV or make amends with his ex-wife, whom he hurt a lot. His main goal is the millions that he can potentially get. And since he lost his main source of income, which is, surprise, Wendy's alimony checks, he needs another job ASAP. So after suing her over unpaid alimony, he naively believes that Wendy would be happy to give him a job again. I wish I could see Wendy Williams' face when she heard these audacious things, because, boy, she must have laughed hard. But since Kevin already exposed how heavily he had relied on her, I don't think he would back up. He already spent the majority of his money on Sharina's lavish lifestyle and doesn't have a single dime to cover his own bills. Even his filing to the court was full of woes. In his petition, he stated, "I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended." Of course, he feels insecure now and doesn't know what the future holds for him financially. But his attempts to mend the relationship and even offer his services as a producer, what a nerve this man has. Although many people think that Wendy is not that naive and she would never believe in his remorse. Here's what they write about his scavenging schemes on social media. One fan commented, "Don't fall for it. He and his girl have a plan. Listen to your son, get a bodyguard, and keep the trash away." And another person added, "Wendy needs her money for herself. She has healthcare needs." I believe that Kelvin has been paid handsomely at this point, and her mental and health care and her money need to be protected from all users. I just find it inexplicable how this man hopes to make amends after everything he had done to Wendy. But his options are quite limited at the moment, and he obviously tries every method possible, hoping for Wendy's sympathy and pity. And since he knows that there's no way Wendy ever accepts him back as a man, he hopes that his skills and expertise in the industry will somehow be valuable and useful. Apparently, Kevin heavily relies on this thought at the moment and plans to bring the family card as reinforcement. Yes, you heard it right. Despite bringing so much pain and suffering into Wendy's life, he still has the nerve to call themselves a family and tries to be supportive of his ex-wife And with Interview with People magazine, he stated, "No matter what the outcome is or what the future holds, we are still the Hunter family, and I will continue to work with and fully support my wife in this business and through any and all obstacles she may face living her new life of sobriety, while I also work on mine." But I guess with his current situation, he can say whatever he wants, but Wendy is not even going to listen. Her mind is on her upcoming projects and new life, sober and free. So Kevin can keep his creativity for other projects, like his mistress's pancake empire, and use his so-called valuable skills to turn this startup into a successful chain of diners across the country, although I doubt anyone will ever buy anything associated with his name. And if his mistress Sharina lacks some cash for a new Gucci bag, well, there are always companies that hire. Many people agree with me that Wendy would just laugh at Kevin's face if he ever dares to hint at making a mutual project or letting him any close to what she works on. This lady has moved on, and every single people can see that. One person commented, "She just needs to ignore him. He complimenting her now, cause he trying to play her." If all that's so true to him, why would he cheat on such a wonderful person? And another added, "Wendy would be clown of the century to even accept Kevin's phone calls. He's useless to Wendy. She's in a good place in her life now, and he's experiencing karma." Well, at this point, I don't believe a single word this man says, and I definitely don't want him next to Wendy for another 50 years. I'm pretty sure that whatever project she is going to launch, it will be 100 successful without this guy. After all, we've all been missing Mrs. Williams and want to hear her exposing her ex, not working with him. And what do you reckon? Is this another Kevin trick to leech off his ex-wife, or he truly that desperate for money? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And as always, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back very soon with more updates on this drama.